This is Supersonic Tank Cats, a brand new kart racing game from the makers of Demented Pixie. It takes everything you love about Mario Kart and throws in bionic cats for good measure. I've played through the Steam Early Access version, and I know you have a bunch of questions, so let's crib this. What exactly is a Supersonic Tank Cat? You know how they had the technology and capability to turn Steve Austin into the $6 million man? Well, Supersonic Tank Cats is a lot like that. Only instead of being a cheesy 70s action series starring Lee Majors, it's a bunch of cats that have been turned into lethal combat vehicles. They never really bothered to explain why anybody would do that to a bunch of cute kitties, but that's where we're at. What we have here is a straightforward kart racer starring a bunch of bionic cats. You know how it works, you pick a kitty, race around the track 3 times, fire weapons at the enemies, and try to come in first. Most of the tracks have speed boost pads and jump ramps, as well as secret paths to take. It's nothing you haven't seen 100 times before, but this time around we race using cat-tank hybrid things instead of the typical cars. Make of that what you will. Do they at least do something with the feline theme? No, they do not. Look, this is a game in early access, so anything can change. But there's nothing about Supersonic Tank Cats that builds on the theme. The 4 stages I played are so generic that they could have easily been in any other kart racer and nobody would have batted an eye. Race through a city park, deep into the desert, on top of buildings, and on a stage that looks like it was plucked straight out of Alice in Wonderland. These stages are fine, if not a bit too long, but they don't have anything to do with cats. The same thing goes with the weapons, which are mostly just of the missile variety. You would think that a game called Supersonic Tank Cats would have us coughing up weaponized fur balls or dropping off toxic kitty litter, but there's nothing like that here. I don't know, perhaps the final product will do a better job of incorporating the feline theme into the rest of the game, but this early access build has left me a little concerned. How does it play? Much like the rest of the game, the handling is a bit rough. The problem is that it doesn't control like a typical racing game. Instead of holding down a button to go, you accelerate and steer with the same analog stick, which is not the way you want to control a racing game. This is especially bad when you're trying to steer around sharp corners. And if that wasn't bad enough, the game will occasionally switch camera angles, which has a bad habit of also switching the controls around. Yeah, this game has a long way to go before it's ready for prime time. You know, it's easy to be cynical and say that we don't need another kart racer, but I'm not opposed to the idea as long as it adds something new to the formula. Supersonic Tank Cats may have a unique cast of characters, but there's nothing here you haven't seen 100 times before. The levels are generic, the gameplay is bad, and I never felt any connection with the kitties. I'm curious to see just how much it improves over the next year, but it's definitely not worth $10 in its current state. Hey, thanks for watching our review. So here's the question of the day. What's your favorite kart racing game of all time? I know everyone's probably going to be talking about the Mario Kart games, but I've always been partial to the first Crash Team Racing and Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed from a few years ago. I don't know, maybe I'm weird. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm currently hard at work on a bunch of reviews, including Pinball Effects 3 and Distrust. We have some big announcements coming up, so I recommend you click that subscribe button and support what we're doing here. Until then.